Okay, so moving now distally in the forearm, we've reached the hand. So we're going to start off by identifying the carpals on the anterior surface. So I'm just joking, I actually do have a model, it's right here. Starting with the proximal row of carpals, which I'm going to outline with my pointer right here. We're going to start off underneath the thumb side with the scaphoid bone. And then it is the lunate bone. And then it's kind of hard to distinguish, but make sure you don't mix this up. We have the triquestrum and the pisiform. So remember when we did the imaging and how the pisiform bone was only or mainly visible in the anterior view is how you can tell whether or not you have an anterior or posterior view of the hand. Moving on, we have the distal row of carpals, and this is made up of the trapezium. I always have a problem saying that. The trapezoid, capitate, and the hamate. And you may have heard in other courses the hook of the hamate, which I kind of appreciate, coming out like this. Now there are a few mnemonics to remembering the carpals, but to keep this accessible to all audiences, I will not be repeating them. Moving now distally, we have the metacarpals, and they're numbered from 1 to 5, 1 starting with the thumb side. And then we have the phalanges, which I'm going to get into on the posterior side just for the sake of time. So like we said before, in the proximal row of carpals, we have the scaphoid bone, the lunate bone, and the triquestrum bone. And you can kind of see the pisiform poking out. In the distal row, we have the trapezium, the trapezoid, capitate, and then the hamate bone. And then once again, we have our metacarpals from 1 to 5, and then we have our phalanges. So the phalanges are a little bit tricky, but it's just like the foot. We have 3 on each digit, and then 2 on the thumb. So if you're quick at math, you already know that's 14, but if you don't believe me, feel free to count. But on each digit here, we have a proximal phalange, a middle phalange, and a distal phalange. Whereas in the thumb, we only have the proximal and the distal. And then that's it.